Okay, so this is to try and illustrate a problem I'm having with my new RS2 gimbal here. As you can see, I've already gone about here and I have balanced both the tilt and the roll axis perfectly. So no matter where I put it, it stays. Both those axes are good. I haven't actually had any trouble with those axes. I read about the roll axis here and some people having trouble with that, and it's because they didn't actually tighten it enough. So once I learned that tip, which I learned early on, everything was fine. Here's where I'm having trouble. All right, let's lock up these axes here, and now we're coming to the pan, and the pan is what just doesn't work. So if we put it all the way forward, right, and we're trying to do that, we obviously see that if I move it to the left, it's going to come back to center because it's front heavy. If I move it to the right, it's going to come back to center. All right, so that's physics. We get that, right? So now let's start moving it to where we're still having that same thing, same sway. All right, move it to the left, move it to the right, it's going. All right. Move to the right, slower, but move it to the left. Okay, we're getting there. That's what I want to see. But now you see it starts no matter what direction I go, and if I start taking it, let's try to roll it over to this side. It'll always go to the left, no matter what. Start making more micro adjustments here. Let's try to take it back. Always to the left. You see? And it keeps coming back to the left. So even though I can, it's like just shifting the point at which it rotates, but it's always rotating. Like no matter what you do, it's just a matter of where it comes back to center. It just changes the center point. So you see, it's like the return point just keeps shifting over and over and over and over, and it will never actually do what the videos are doing, which is you can position it here and it stays. You can position it here and it stays. It always seems to turn So here's something else that's illustrative of the problem. So you would think that if this is too far back, there's too much weight in the back, that when I lean it over this way, it's going to swing around this way, like this, when I lean it forward into the side. But you'll notice that when I lean it over this way, it actually goes the entire opposite direction. And I'm not sure why that is. It almost seems like there's more weight on this side somehow weighing it forward, and yet, as I've illustrated before, all of these axes are balanced. So I don't understand why it would do that. It's like always favoring one particular side, no matter how many micro adjustments I make on this. All right, now you might be saying, oh, what difference does all this make? I just, despite my best efforts, tested the, calibrated the gimbal and everything, and it said it was all good. Everything tested out excellent, but I noticed that when I make certain movements here, if I try to take this down like this, there we go. So yeah, that's my struggle with this particular gimbal. I know that kind of sideways movement is weird and unusual, but what I've noticed is that the closer I can get the pan axis to being balanced, the more it doesn't do that. When I can't get it, very tight in terms of the pan axis, even just going down sideways like this, it'll start to freak out. And I've read comments online that kind of freak out movement does in fact have to do with the pan axis. Again, the problem is I can't, for the life of me, balance the pan axis. There seems to be some type of weight shifting that's happening up here that it just always rotates no matter what. I can actually feel that same sort of thing when there's nothing on here because there's so much more weight on this side. This is obviously not balanced. But with everything else balanced, you would think that there wouldn't be any kind of weight shifting that's happening there. You should be able to get it right. Obviously the 6K Pro is a heavier camera. I did try it with the camera that I'm filming this with, the 5D Mark II, with a different lens. The exact same thing happened. Balanced it up here, balanced it here, came to balance this, kept turning to the left, even with a smaller DSLR kind of camera. So I'm at a loss.